So kamakailan, inatake na naman po ng China Coast Guard ang ating resupply vessels na papunta po sana sa Ayungin Shoal para mag-resupply po dun sa ating tropa. Alam niyo po yung Ayungin Shoal, pasok na pasok po sa ating exclusive economic zone, 200 nautical miles, no? Po kayo maniniwala doon sa mga nagsasabi na tayo pa'y nambubuli sa kanila. Binomba na naman ng tubig yung vessel at meron po mga na-injure ng mga Pilipino. Ano ba yung mga dapat na hakbang natin dito? Nagkaroon ng isang napakahalagang meeting ng National Security Council at saka yung Security Council ng ating pamahalaan at makikibalita po tayo dito po sa mga nangyari. So I'd like to welcome to our program again si National Security Council si Jonathan Malaya. Makikibalita kami, no? So nagkaroon ng meeting kanina yung Security Cluster tungkol dito sa ginagawang pambubuli ng China, specifically yung latest incident, no? Ano po ba napag-usapan?
Well, unang-una, nagpatawag kasi nag-request ng meeting si National Security Advisor Ed Año to the President, to the Executive Secretary, because napansin namin na medyo tumataas na yung tensyon, no? There is, kumbaga, alam na nga natin na mas agresibo. Kasi kung nakita natin yung mga balita kanina, Christian, and we released all these videos and footages to the public last Saturday, and then nag-embed tayo ng media. 1 oras pong binayo yung ating Unay sa May 4. 1 oras. So, and because of that, nagkaroon ng physical injuries yung ating mga tropa na papunta sana ng Ayungin Shoal for them to be able to bring supplies and provisions to our troops there and mag-rotate ng mga tao. So, because of the seriousness of the incident, the National Security Advisor met with the Executive Secretary plus the members of the National Security Cluster. Ngayon, ang purpose ng meeting na ito is for us to make adjustments to our approach and to recommend these adjustments to the President.
Okay, napaka-importante. Actually, ito yung mga pag-uusapan natin, no? Adjustments to the approach. Marami nagtatanong at marami tayong mga kababayan na frustrated. Lagi nang binobomba yung ating mga tropa, yung ating resupply mission. Ano ba yung mga pwedeng gawin na hakbang para kahit paano siguro magdalawang isip yung China dito sa ginagawa nila?
You know, Christian, kung frustrated yung ating mga kababayan, ano pa kaya kami, no, sa National Security Council? Kasi kami yung naatasan ng ating pamahalaan na pamahalaan yung ating West Philippine Sea, kasi nga ito yung yamang dagat na magagamit sana natin sa ating pag-unlad bilang isang bansa. We have several options in mind. Unfortunately, Christian, hindi naman ako academic. I am a government official, and itong mga discussions na ito will have to be brought to the President, and the decisions that will be rendered, I'm sure ipapaalam po sa ating mga kababayan. Pero as of now, because of national security considerations, I cannot share what those options are. Baka kasi we cannot be telegraphing our moves to China.
Okay, we understand, no, yung national security implications niyan. Pero ito on principle, no? Kasi yung ginagawa ng China kasi, sinasagad nila yung mga pwedeng gawin na pangaharas sa ating mga vessels na hindi umaabot sa tinatawag na armed attack, no? Kasi that would trigger the Mutual Defense Treaty with the US. Pero yung pagganti, gamit din yung pagbomba ng tubig. Pag binobomba tayo ng China Coast Guard, on principle, no? Is that an option?
Well, napag-usapan na po yan ng ilang beses, no? Pero hindi natin, kumbaga hindi natin nakikita yung benefit noon. Kasi para ang mangyayari kasi dyan is pagalingan na tayo ng mga water cannon, no? Just imagine, in terms of laki ng mga barko, ang China yung merong mas malaki yung kanilang mga barko kumpara sa atin. Meron tayong mga Japan-made na mga Coast Guard vessels na almost 100 meters, around 97 or 98. Pero hindi pa rin siya kapantay. Malaki siya, pero hindi siya kapantay ng China. So kahit yung mga kagamitan nila in terms of water cannon, hindi rin ganun kalaki. So kumbaga, we are not looking at it. Ang response natin, hindi natin nakikita sa ganun, no? But let me just assure the public and Christian na kung iniisip ng China na hihina tayo, na madadaan tayo sa intimidasyon dahil nagkakaroon na tayo ng mga physical injuries or damage to our ships, natitiklop na tayo, as I think they expect, they will be in for a rude surprise. No? They should not underestimate the Filipino fighting spirit. Ang pinaglalaban po natin dito ay hindi naman maliit na bagay. No? We are fighting for the decision of the arbitral tribunal, which clearly said that West Philippine Sea is a part of our maritime zone entitlements. And ang pinagalaban natin dito is the rules-based international order and the supremacy of international law. So, hindi po tayo magpapatinag notwithstanding what is happening.
Okay. Malinaw naman yan, no? Dun sa mga nag-iisip lang, no? Kung hindi naman China propagandist, malinaw naman talaga kung sino yung merong legal na karapatan dyan sa exclusive economic zone natin. Nabanggit nyo kanina na mas agresibo yung ginagawa ng China lately. Ano yung mga possible explanations doon? Bakit na mas nagiging agresibo sila doon sa pag-atake ng ating mga vessels?
Well, it's difficult for me to speculate, Christian. No? Mas maganda sana if I was an academic. No? Academic, na wala. Unfortunately, I speak for the National Task Force West Philippine Sea, and anything I say here in your program may be considered as the official position of government. Notwithstanding, kahit sabihin ko, it's my own personal opinion. But, well, at the onset, I think they're testing our resolve. No, they're trying to look for weaknesses or gaps in the way we respond. Kasi nga, obviously, the intent of China is to weaken us. No, so nagpo-probe sila, tinatry nilang baguhin yung lakas ng ating paninindigan. But remember, at the end of the day, nandyan pa rin naman ang BRP Sierra Madre. No? If we look at it another way, Christian, sila ngayon sa Beijing, may sakit na ulo din sila because they think they own the West Philippine Sea at hindi naman nila tayo mapaalis. So, sino ba ang panalo utilizing that angle? Tayo pa rin. Now, sinasabi ng China and minention din to ng Chinese Coast Guard na whatever happens will lead to Philippine humiliation, di ba? Napapaya lang daw ang Pilipinas. But isn't China the one that is being humiliated? Kasi kitang-kita na ng buong mundo kung anong klaseng emerging superpower siya. So that kind of bully, that kind of aggression, that kind of intimidation, that is not the action of a responsible member of the international community. So kung meron ditong na-humiliate, I don't think it's the Philippines. It's the People's Republic of China.
Incidentally, you mentioned yung yung sinasabi nila na parang we should be prepared to bear all the potential consequences dito. Di ba pananakot siya na maliwanag? Ano bang pagtingin doon ng gobyerno?
Yeah, actually, kasama yan sa statement namin na linabas nung Sabado na our position, we will not be deterred by threats or hostility. Kasi may mga ganun eh. There's this veiled threats and hostility on the part of China. Precisely, the reason is for us to weaken us, no? To create fault lines in our position. Kasi kung maririnig mo naman yung mga supporters nila, Christian, kilala naman natin yung mga kung sino-sino yung mga yon. They're now increasing the warmongering, the threat of war, no? Parang, the Philippines should take a step back, rethink its position kasi magkakagera and let's not push China. That misses the entire point. They're the ones that's pushing us, no? Yung ginawa natin sa Ayungin is a regular mission. We have been doing it for the past how many years, no? Ngunit at walang binagbago yung ating resupply approach. Sila yung tumataas yung tension. So sila yung clearly at fault here.
Okay. Hindi, let's not miss the point, no? Ano bang pakialam dapat ng China? Sa atin yung exclusive economic zone. Nandun yung BRP Sierra Madre tsaka Ayungin Shoal, no? Kasi dapat lagi natin inuulit yun. China has no business being in our exclusive economic zone. Pero that being said, no? Binapalutang lagi ng China, kaya binobomba ng tubig yung resupply mission kasi hindi lang naman daw purpose ay yung i-resupply yung tropa na naka-station doon sa BRP Sierra Madre, kundi meron din daw dalang building materials to repair BRP Sierra Madre. Ano ba strategy nila? Intayong mabulok, tapos gumuho. Then eventually ma-decommission? Yun ba yung ano nila yun, long-term goal?
Well, let me answer una. Number one, it shouldn't matter kung anong dala natin. No? Kasi unang-una, as you said yourself, atin yon, it's a long-standing outpost. Matagal na yan dyan, LS-57. And whatever we do with our resupply mission is our business. Kasi tayo nga yung may hawak niyan. The Ayungin Shoal is well within our exclusive economic zone, continental shelf, and that has been clearly awarded to us. Now, pero let me state this, Christian, no? Wala namang lamang construction materials yung Unay sa May 4. In fact, kanina sa GMA, pinalabas ni Joseph Morong yung video wherein napasok ng tubig yung loob ng Unay sa May 4. May nakikita ba tayong construction materials doon? May nakita ba tayong mga bakal, semento, kung ano-ano man? Kasi nga pinakita eh. So yung sinasabi nila na why are we bringing construction materials? No, we are not bringing construction materials. No, ito yung mahirap eh. When China presupposes something, they're escalating the tensions in the West Philippine Sea without clear evidence. No, wala naman silang they're creating these tensions.
Even din nga, ano bang pakialam nila kung mayroong construction materials?
Exactly.
Bakuran mo yun eh, di ba? Tama ba?
Exactly. Kaya nga sinagot ko ng ganun. Pero mas ang nakakatawa is they're creating problems with the Philippines on something which does not exist.
Okay. Eto, babasahin ko isang comment ADG Malaya, no? Alam ko kasi this represents a big part of our population that's very frustrated with what's happening. Of course, I understand kailangan ng nuancing dito, no? Pero pag-usapan natin ito. Sagot, comment ni Ian Binondo, daming kuda. Ano aksyon ng gobyerno? Hain ulit ng protesta? Simulan natin sa kasuhan ng treason yung mga enabler ng China. Bakit ang Indonesia kayang pumalag sa China? Ano yan, no? I'm not saying that this is the correct action, pero this is a reflection of the frustrated population.
Well, as I said, we are also frustrated. Kaya nga nagpatawag ng high-level meeting today. Normally, hindi naman nagpapatawag ng ganito because these missions to Ayungin are routinary missions which we have been doing for so many years. Unang-una, pumapalag nga tayo sa China eh. Kaya nga naiinis yung China. No? China keeps repeating back to claims of agreements in the past, promises in the past. No? Pumapalag nga tayo, hindi nga natin sila pinapakinggan. And yung ginagawa natin, kinaiinis nila. So, I don't think it's true na hindi tayo pumapalag. Pumapalag tayo. Ang gusto nila, sumunod tayo sa kanila. And we are not going to do that.
Okay. Dito naman, ADG Malaya, may tanong dito, no? Si Alex De Los Santos. Ano po hakbang na ginagawa nyo laban sa mga vlogger o political analyst na nagtatanggol sa China tulad ni Harry Roque? Lagi niya sinasabi na pakana daw yan ng US para magkagera.
Well, alam mo kasi, Christian, and to our yung nagbigay ng comment, we are a democracy, no? And parang yung mga komunista lang yan, no? Di ba? We respect their rights to say what they want so long as they do not take arms against the government. In fact, wala na nga tayong anti-subversion law. So to believe in communism is no longer a crime. Ang problema natin sa mga NPA is pag sila ng armas, no? Naghawak sila ng armas. Ganon din yan dyan sa mga vloggers na yan, they are just exercising their rights to express their views, no? Once they don't cross the line, no, the line into treason, and I'm sure our lawyers would be able to explain that better than me, no? We can't do anything about them. The way to fight them is by spilling out the facts, no? Parang yung disinformation lang yan or fake news. Ilabas natin yung totoo para maintindihan ng ating mga kababayan at wala nang makinig sa kanila.
Okay, understand yan, yung fighting falsehood with facts. Pero
kaya nga may fact first eh.
Salamat Pero syempre napaka-importante dyan doon sa paglaban sa disinformation. In this context, yung Chinese influence operations na napakalawak, no?
Yes.
Meron bang malino na strategy, for instance, yung National Security Council, in terms of dealing with the specific battleground, which is the Chinese influence operations? Kasi nga, honestly, hindi naman sapat na sabihin nyo lang yung totoo. You also have to understand yung distribution channels kung saan namamayagpag yung mga disinformation na ginagawa nila. So talk to us about the strategy or kung ano man yung ginagawa ng gobyerno.
Yes, we understand that this is a national security issue. We started this effort around middle of last year nung nakita namin na mabigat pala yung Chinese malign information operations in the Philippines. Now, we're monitoring itong lahat ng ito para malaman natin yung extent ng who are the actors, what are the activities that they do, what are the narratives that they do, nagkaka-traction ba itong mga to, no? These are the things that keep us at night, no? Kasi very important yung cognitive, no? This is part and parcel of hybrid warfare, no? Ito yung sinasabi mo kanina, Christian, na what China does is just below the level of kinetic warfare, yung quote-unquote gray zone tactics. And part of gray zone tactics is what is known as cognitive warfare, no? Creating gaps in the position of creating gaps, creating fault lines in the public, creating misinformation so as to doubt the government position. Lahat yan ginagawa nila. So kami naman, we appreciate and we are trying to understand their operations here now. We feel it is a security issue. And we are now working also to update our laws with regards to this. Kasi nakita namin that Canada, for example, Australia, they all have passed their foreign interference acts. And then Singapore also just passed theirs a month ago at meron na silang kinasuhan na isang individual. So we have been talking to our partners and allies on how to craft our own legislation about foreign interference. And we're also looking at, in the future, how to fortify our election system. Kasi paparating ng election sa 2025, and then meron pa tayong 2028. And ang nangyayari ngayon, mas nagiging uso yung foreign interference in elections. So given that we are at the forefront of tensions in this part of the world, hindi malayo na magkakaroon din ng foreign interference sa ating mga eleksyon. So these are the things that we're doing.
Ano yung mga parameters na tinitingnan nyo in terms of that proposed Foreign Interference Act, no? Isa rin kasi sa mga madalas magbanggit niyan na kailangan daw yan si Commodore J. Tariela. Pero so far, ano yung mga tinitingnan yung parameters dyan?
Well, unang-una kasi, it's all about, the law itself is all about transparency. No? Of course, yung batas, yung bill na kinakraft na namin ngayon sa NSC is, it concerns itself with prohibiting government officials, public officials, and other entities from receiving foreign funding coming from a foreign power. Okay? So, given that situation, tinitingnan din yung batas na kailangan magpa-register ka. The issue is transparency. So, if you are, for example, a lobbyist and you're receiving money from a foreign power, whether it is the United States, whether it is China, whether it is the UK, whether it is North Korea or Syria or whatever country or Iran, you must register with government. Kasi kung hindi ka mag-register, then that's prima facie evidence of some type of wrongdoing. So pwedeng i-compel ng gobyerno na buksan yung books mo, pwedeng buksan ng AMLAC yung mga bank accounts mo if you do not register. So doon pa lang sa registration, nakita ng best practices abroad na makakatulong to for us to weed out and to expose, no? Yung deterrence factor pa lang malaki na. Kaya nakita namin na kailangan din talaga sa ating bansa.
So far, anong target nyo na maipasa ito? Kakayanin ba ito, for instance, before the 2025 elections?
We hope, no? Kasi nagsimula pa lang kami sa technical working group this year, no? Kasi bago ito, no? Alam mo, Christian, all of these things are new. These things are that we're doing now. Lahat ito bago, no? The threat from foreign interference, hindi naman natin yan na-realize. Na-realize lang na natin yan. At least me, when I joined the National Security Council in the middle of last year. Dati kasi, alam mo naman sa Pilipinas, everybody has their own opinion and we respect people's rights to express their views and opinions. So, ngayon pa lang natin ito binabalangkas. Kami rin yung nagpupush ng Maritime Zones Act at maganda, papasa na, nag-BICAM na. Ang susunod yung Archipelagic Sea Lanes, pumasa na rin to sa House. Malapit na rin sa Senate kasi may special committee under Tolentino. Ang susunod naman namin itong a new law on foreign interference and an update to the Espionage Act, no? The things that we need to do to fortify our legislation against foreign interference.
Nagkakaalaman kung sino yung mga merong bahid dyan, no? Pagdating ng deliberations.
Yes,
maraming papalag dyan sa tingin ko, no?
This will be a very controversial law, but we have to recognize that foreign interference is a clear and present danger to our national security.
Okay. Yung sinasabi nyo kanina na cognitive warfare, no? So far, do you think sa monitoring nyo, is that being effective in terms of influencing the Filipino mindset toward what China is doing sa West Philippine Sea? O limited lang yan doon sa mga bayaran ng mga propagandista?
Well, we're very optimistic kasi nakikita naman namin yung result ng surveys. May Okta Research survey which showed that the vast majority of the public, around 70-72%, support the Philippine position. At the same time, yung Freedom House naglabas ng research study which showed the Philippines as resilient to Chinese disinformation. Generally, no? Pero when you go to the ground, Christian, iba yung maririnig mo eh. Especially in areas, no? Some parts of Mindanao, some parts of the Visayas, even here in Luzon, makikita mo na may ganong klaseng approach, may mga ganon, kumbaga nakumbinsi sila na ang ginagawa natin sa West Philippine Sea is pakanalang ng US at ang US ang nagko-control ng lahat. And this kind of approach wherein pumapayag tayo maging puppet ng US is creating the conditions for war. So we should pull back and disengage from the United States. Surprisingly, anecdotal, madaming naniniwala dyan. So it's important and critical na palakasin din natin yung civic education. Get more people to discuss this issue. Make them understand na this is a issue of significant national importance. Kasi one time may nakausap ako, ang sabi, anong pakialam namin yan sa West Philippine Sea? Taga ganito kami. Malayo yung probinsya nila sa West Philippine Sea. And then I told them na ang West Philippine Sea, isa yan ang pinagkukunin natin ng isda. And the moment hindi na makapangisda ang mga Pilipino dyan, that can lead to high prices. In the same manner, nung nagka-shortage tayo ng sibuyas or onion, nagtaasan yung presyo ng sibuyas sa buong Pilipinas. Di ba? So utilizing that same analogy, hindi dahil wala ka sa 10 provinces facing the West Philippine Sea, wala ka nang pakialam. This is a national issue that everyone should be concerned about.
Dagdagan pa natin, energy issue, di ba?
Yes.
Darating yung panahon na mauubos yung supply galing sa Malampaya, pero hindi natin ma-explore yung sarili nating resources sa ating exclusive economic zone dahil meron tayong kapitbahay na makapalang muka na pinipigilan tayo from even exploring the idea or the possibility na mayroong langis or gas deposits, di ba?
Yes. Actually, nag-start na tayong mag-explore in some areas to the west of Palawan. Medyo malapit-lapit lang ito sa coastline ng Palawan because the president has already directed the development of these oil fields, no? This na may mga reserves. But tama ka, there's a lot of untapped potential in other parts of the West Philippine Sea, which is crucial for our energy security.
Yung TikTok, alam ko malaking issue yan sa US, tsaka sa Canada for instance. Isa rin ba yan sa mga pinag-uusapan nyo sa National Security Council, tsaka sa Security Cluster in terms of how to deal with TikTok and the idea or the possibility that it is a platform spreading Chinese propaganda o baka naman ginagamit din for espionage? I don't know, no? Hindi mo ako ganun kalalim sa pagdududa ko sa TikTok. Pero pinag-uusapan kasi yan sa ibang bansa. Dito sa atin, paano?
Yes, pinag-uusapan yan. In fact, meron tayong special committee na binuo sa National Security Council. Tapos na yung recommendations ng committee ito. It's actually on my desk. I will soon forward it to National Security Advisor Ed Año. I think by after Holy Week, kasi our recommendation is for the issuance of a memorandum circular to all government officials about the use of TikTok. Okay, so ayoko lang pangunahan yung approval ni NSA Anyo, Christian, baka mapagalitan ako. But just to na we have studied it and we have made recommendations to him about some form of regulation sa TikTok.
Pag pinagalitan ka pa, pwede bang sabihin mo na lang, ang kulit ko kasi? Maglabas ng memorandum circular, ibig sabihin, huwag gamitin o huwag mag-download ng TikTok? Yun ba yung tinutumbok niyan?
Okay, kasi nung natanong ako nito a few months back, our recommendation was for the security cluster. Okay. So yung ating mga kababayan na nanonood ngayon na hindi naman from the security cluster, no, na regular lang na nagti-TikTok, please don't worry, we are not going to ban TikTok entirely, no. Insofar as the NSC is concerned, we're just concerned about the national security implications for people who are working in the security sector, like people in the military, people in the police, people in the intelligence community, people who like me who work in the NSC, who work in the Coast Guard. Sila po yung nakikita naming may vulnerabilities to the use of TikTok. Because as you said, many countries in the world have banned the use of TikTok in government-issued phones. Okay? Ang dami niyan for various reasons, from possible use for espionage, possible use for monitoring, possible use for disinformation and fake news. So many of these countries have come to the conclusion na TikTok is a national security threat insofar as the security sector is concerned.
Pero napag-aralan ba yung technical aspect niyan? Kasi baka naman, devil's advocate lang. Baka naman overreacting tayo dahil China yung origin ng TikTok. Automatically, takot na. Diba?
Napag-aralan namin na matagal, kaya nga inabot din ng buwan yung pagka-aral nung komite. So, tapos na yung recommendation. I just have this memo that I have to submit to NSA hopefully by after Holy Week para mailabas na ng NSA to Malacanang yung aming recommendations on TikTok.
Most likely, kailan ma-implement yan? Yung regulation sa paggamit ng TikTok by all government employees ba yan or officials or dun lang sa security cluster?
I cannot say muna, Christian, pending the approval of Malacanang on this. But I would hope that the Malacanang won't take too much time reviewing the MC. Kasi alam mo naman, this has to be reviewed by many people. Basta kami, once we've submitted our recommendations, we hope that Malacanang will immediately issue this and promulgate it.
Ito, last point, ADG Malaya, no? Alam ko you're very busy and I really respect that, no? Identified nyo naman yung mga propagandista ng China. Napakaingay naman nila. Paano ba pinag-aaralan yan? Tinitingnan nyo rin ba kung baka naman may pumapasok na mga pera sa ano nila? Alam mo na, yung mga unexplained na infusion of funds coming from foreign sources sa kanilang mga bank accounts. Parang tinitingnan ba yung mga ganyang bagay, for instance?
Ang problema nga sa kanila, when I said some months back, we are monitoring them, kaagad-agad, tinatag ko daw sila. No? They wrote a letter to Secretary Eduardo Año. Parang they protested what I said. So sabi ko naman, in response, ang sabi ko naman, that's our job to monitor. No, hindi naman namin sinabing sino-surveillance namin kayo because ang dating sa kanila sino-surveillance ko daw sila. Pasensya na po, hindi ko po trabaho mag-surveillance sa inyo. It's not me, no? What I do is look at what you have said in the public and then nakita ko yung sinabi nyo is the same talking points as China. Di ba? Parang yung sinabi ng Beijing, ng spokesperson ng Chinese Foreign Ministry, or the Chinese Coast Guard, kaparehong-pareho ng sinabi nyo. So, nung sinabi ko yan in public, nagalit sa akin at tinatag na ako sa mga post nila, binabanatan ako sa Twitter, binabanatan ako kung saan-saan. When I am just doing my job. Now,
wait, sorry pinangalanan mo ba sila o baka naman sila nag-out sa sarili nila?
Exactly. Wala nga akong sinabing mga pangalan at the start, no? Wala akong sinabi mga pangalan. I just said that we are monitoring these pro-China personalities. And hindi nila nagustuhan yung word na monitor because coming from the National Security Council, it's a threat to their life and liberty daw. Sabi ko, these people are seeing ghosts where there are none. Di ba? Kaya nga sinabi ko, kami ginagawa lang namin ng trabaho namin. If we are not monitoring you, natutulog kami sa pansitan. Diba?
Sorry, medyo natawa ako doon. No? Para imagine mo, may isang DJ sa radyo. Magandang araw po sa inyo lahat. Tapos someone felt alluded to. Binati niya ako. Para naging personal no? Okay, tugisin ng lahat ng mga pangit. Ba't mo kang pinay-personal? Parang ganun yung dating, no?
Correct. They brought it to the extreme. They brought it to the extreme na parang ganun. Hindi naman ako nag-out sa kanila. Sa social media, it's the public that is, exposing them for what they really are. So, kung ako sa kanila, pagalingan na lang tayo ng argumento. Wala nang personalan. Kasi kung sa feeling nyo, ginagawa nyo yan dahil mahal nyo ang Pilipinas, apparently, ginagawa rin namin sa NSC at sa Coast Guard at sa iba pang mga ahensya ang aming trabaho. And if we don't do that, ba't pa kami nasa gobyerno?
Okay. Sige, maraming salamat Assistant Director General Jonathan Malaya ng National Security Council. Makikibalita pa ako, no? Especially dun sa TikTok memorandum circular na ipapalabas later on. Pero in the meantime, maraming salamat for joining us dito sa Facts First.
Okay, thank you for having me.
Nagustuhan niyo ba ang ganitong pagtalakay? Mag-follow sa Informador FB page at mag-subscribe sa Informador YouTube channel. Ang Informador ay nilikha ng mga staff ni Atty. Ricky Tumutorgo, aka Insurrecto, upang lalong lumawak ang inaabot ng pagpapalaganap ng katotohanan at labanan ang fake news at kasinungalingan.